Bartolo, the front line. 3 months ago, Peter Silverman joined 24 other Toronto volunteers on a mission to Nicaragua. Their mission, to build a school in the small village of San Bartolo. Tonight, the war hits home.
As the days rolled into weeks, we began to run out of time. The elements and events turned against us. The weather was a constant factor. The lack of any mechanical equipment, with the exception of this small transporter, which we coaxed into service.
Did the bend thing? Yeah.
Let me try that one.
Where do you want it? Here?
Where do you want this?
And there was a war.
Yeah, they rang the bell and some guy came saying that they're coming down or something like that.
Come on.
I'm a little tired and grimy. That's because I had to climb up or run up a hill which was 800 meters high to get to the ridge here, which overlooks where the battle is being fought, which is less than a kilometer away. There's approximately 60 or 70 Contras, perhaps more, we don't know, who are down in that valley, and these troops up here are engaging them. Two other platoons have just tried to go down the hill and encircle the Contras, and in the background, the battle still goes on.
During the 3 weeks we were in the village, 50 people died in the area, including 12 children in a bus that was blown up by the Contras. But despite the war, the rain, the construction went on. And for our now tight-knit group, there were lighter moments. And we found a common humanity that broke the barriers of language and culture.
Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias.
And we too presented our thanks to the village. The supplies we had brought were distributed.
My son has more toys than I've seen in this entire village at this point. It was a really moving experience to watch these kids just go mad chasing these beach balls around until they broke two of them. But it just tells you that there are things you can do in very tangible ways and sometimes unexpected ways to really make their lives happier.
We were starting to feel a part of this village, that we were actually making a contribution.
Tomorrow night, the race against time, trying to get the school finished before the mission to Central America ends. Efforts to build a school, Peter Silverman finds himself asking, was it worth it?
If we were not yet part of the fabric of the village, at least we were no longer strangers.
Brindarles un apoyo moral para que así ustedes no se sientan como que están en otro país, sino que se sientan como que están en su mismo país. O sea, nosotros nos sentimos como tratando con otras personas así de otro país, nosotros nos sentimos con nervios, pero ya a los pocos días ya nos sentimos iguales.
Still, the construction of the school dominated our days and assumed a greater urgency as we raced against our departure date. The footings were in.
Right on top.
Start right in between them.
The first posts went up. And the bare outline of the school started to take shape. And we acquired a site superintendent, Santiago.
Y comenzar, dar un futuro a nuestra revolución, hacer tan siquiera un palo que hayan clavado. Es una contribución de ustedes, que nadie más la puede venir a dar. Puede ser otros países también, pero de aquí Nicaragua no. Si no, ustedes no han venido, no hay proyecto en adelante.
By now, each day had its own rhythm. Work, eat, the trek to the river to wash. We had less than a week left, and as the hours wound down, we began to ask, what had we accomplished? What had we learned?
I feel very fortunate in the life that I've had, and I feel that I want to share some of that. I've also come as an education for myself and to see what is here in Central America, and I've also come for adventure, which I have certainly found.
We had shared the life of the villagers and their danger, but had it been worth it? Was ours a futile gesture by a modern-day group of Don Quixotes who got carried away by trying to help in the third world?
Well, it's been a strange kind of pull to come here for a long time, and when I got the chance, I thought I'd come.
There was another side to the equation. If we had learned about the village and their way of life, perhaps they had learned a bit about us and Canada.
O sea, de que está correcto la visita que ustedes han hecho aquí en Nicaragua, para nosotros así aportar mejores ideas o hacer un intercambio de ideas para ustedes.
Perhaps the most important thing is that a group of Canadians now have a better understanding of the problems of the third world, and in particular this small village in northern Nicaragua, where the people here are trying painfully to improve their lot, if not for this generation, then at least, hopefully, for the next.
There were 16 volunteers that went.
To this particular village.
The school is complete, it still stands, they still use it?
No, the school we think is now completed. We didn't complete it, the villagers had to take over the project.
But you think it's now completed and being used? So
Yes.
it was worth it?
Yes,
you
of course
help.
it was.
If
I'd
you-
go again.
Okay, if you were to go again, Peter, what would you take this time? What things would you pack for them?
Probably the same things. The school supplies, medicines, they're under siege. The embargo is against them by the United States. They're in a desperate situation. They're fighting a war.
You were fairly sick. You may have noticed Peter's lost a great deal of weight since this trip. You lost a lot of weight.
22
Max was
pounds,
sick.
yeah.
You both had parasites quite badly. Now everybody's okay. What about the other 14? Did you all suffer?
We all, one way or another, most of the people, they sacrificed a great deal to go down there, Deanie. First of all, we paid our own way down. Room and board when we got down there. It was vacation time. And we took our chances with the problems that accrued, and that were the diseases and so on and so forth. So it was a considerable sacrifice to a great number of people.
Is it the kind of thing you'd like to send your children on when they're a
Yes.
little older?
Absolutely.
All right. It was a fabulous series. We enjoyed it very much. We thank you very much. And if you want to go back, take a camera.
Okay.